whoever's online, I grab them. And I've had some apologies from TK. He says he can't join us because he's got something really important right now, and he's very happy to do what he needs to do, what we want him to do. He will do it. Okay, it's just that he can't join the meeting right now. And David Parker decide not to
understand. Yeah, I understand the dynamics of people's lives. You know, we are trying to change the world while living in a world that we want to change. And so we got to keep up with the pace of the world that we want to change, and to speed up our thinking and problem solving skills, so that, you know, when the next time frame comes to mind for us, we can make a change. And so right now we're kind of like dropping that huge freaking boulder in that really still pond, and we're going to make a big old ripple. And, you know, we're gonna shake things up in the energy community, but we're going to have to do it by focusing our energy. You know, the first peace device is going to be made by the people, okay? And that's a collaboration of different people and different levels of their knowledge. It can't be done by myself, and it cannot be done by Kesh, all right? We can only give you the knowledge, all right? Now, there's enough knowledge out there right now that we have a completed device. We have teleportation. We have space vehicles. We have, unlimited energy for your vehicles, all that kind of stuff. Okay, we already have it all.
Pretty.
Okay, and it's here now. We've just got to focus that energy. Okay, each of you guys that are here and everybody that's listening has a little piece of the puzzle. Okay, and so don't think that you don't have anything to add because you're not scientific here. All right, that's not the point. And I'm not really talking to just the group that is here, online with me today. I'm talking to anybody who is going to be watching these videos in the near future. Okay, this is going to be a progressive effort and a group effort. Okay, where we will meet every day. All right. A little, I would say, minimum of an hour and maximum of 3 hours a day, every day until this vehicle is up. That's the kind of idea that we want. We're trying to give a 3-hour window of opportunity for people to come in. Now, if we've got a continuous group that wants to try and work this problem out, then we'll leave it on, 24 hours a day. I don't care. All right. We want this to be a collaboration. I can't be online all the time. Okay. But I can tell you what will work when you guys ask me the questions. Okay. This is kind of like a talk show game for me right now, because I know I have the answers, but I can't give them to you until somebody asks me the right question. Okay. So I'm going to try and put you in positions that are going to make you ask me the right questions. All right. Because that's my job here. I'm supposed to be your teacher. Okay.
Cool.
And you've asked me to teach you, so we're going to learn how to organize our thoughts with all of this stuff and organize our emotions so that we can build this damn vehicle, and we can record it, and we can get blueprints out to the people, and then make all of the other people out there that want to follow along hook it up to their vehicles and drive out to that tribe. Okay. And we'll make a very clear statement that we don't need oil anymore. Okay. That is the first step to peace here in America, is to cut the head off the snake. And as any of you guys know, this stuff out here with the reservation and the waterways and going through burial grounds, these are very deliberate actions to raise emotions, okay, to cause turmoil. Right? What the Infinity Project is, we're emotional doctors. Okay, you're learning about emotion. You're learning about energy. Okay, the same energy that Nikola Tesla was working on and trying to give to the world, but we didn't understand it then. Okay, it's described by Mr. Cash as magnetical and gravitational energy. Okay, that kind of energy is everywhere. Okay, I don't even know the true word for that, but it's everywhere. And we've figured out how to harness it, okay, store it, and use it. And every single person out there that's lit an LED with the plasma device, even if it's been only for a few days, okay, that was a few days of free energy that you didn't have to pay for, okay? And you can build on that, because the same concept of the way it was built in the smaller version will work in the bigger version, except that you'll get more energy. Even if you didn't change anything, you just changed the proportion of it, okay?
Can you guys hear me?
The ratio. Yeah, we can hear you. If you change the ratio of it, you're going to, the energy is still going to be there, all right, but it's going to be much bigger, okay? So for bigger reactors, you can take your CO2 kits and just make them bigger. The same concept. Gigantic plates will do the same exact thing, but it's going to create a bigger energy field. It's like building a pyramid, okay? So as above, so below. If you can build it small, you can build it big, all right? And that's what we're doing here when we're building these big, okay? Is that we're going much bigger, and we're taking the IQ units, okay, and we're creating two same polarity star energies that are going to come together, all right? That's how the plasma energy works, all right? I call it star energy. I don't know what regular science calls it, okay? You guys do, and I need your guys' help to help me translate my words. Okay?
I call it ether.
Ether.
Yeah, it's ether. It's, to me, it's neutrinos. Okay, I know them as neutrinos. Now, that's why I've called everybody here together. Now, I've even asked Kesh to join us, and Barmay if they want, okay? Because this is for peace, and I'm in control of this meeting.
Baramay's online now.
These devices. I know what I want, and I know how I'm going to get it, and you guys are going to be able to help if you're willing, okay? And really all it boils down to is being able to change your perception on the way you think and problem solve, okay? And in doing so, your brain will turn on and connect to your heart, okay? And a lot of people will see it. But we're going to try it with this truck, and I'm going to implement, and I'm going to teach you guys as we're going how it correlates to the human body.
Cool.
Whenever you're done with what you need to speak about, I have a few questions for you pertaining to the pipeline, if that's all right.
Okay. The point of this group is to bring this truck to life, okay? If you like Transformers, we're going to give this truck an Allspark, okay? We're going to give it a heart. It already talks to me, tells me it's got a soul, all right? So we're going to give it a heart, which is going to give it enough energy. How you doing, Fraz? If you like, Iron Man, we're gonna make the arc reactor, okay? It's all out there. That's what we're making here, guys. And this is the peace reactor, okay? And I need everybody's intentions and I need everybody's emotions to be on the same level, okay? We have to paint the same picture in our minds while we're building this reactor, okay? Because if we don't, then something is going to be off, okay? Before I went to California, there was a gentleman that donated 40 CO2 kits from the Kesh Foundation because he had purchased them and then lost interest whatsoever in the foundation. So he sent me the kits, all right? Well, I know how to use those kits. I have 40 of them, which means I'm going to be making 40 different kinds of GANs, all right? And I'm going to need your minds to help me be able to get those 40 different GANs or neutrino mixtures that we're going to put together.
So
okay?
cool.
And in doing so, we're going to create a strength of 40 energy fields around this project. Okay, actually it's going to be, I don't know, 84 or something like that fields. okay, to protect us around this project. Okay.
Quick question on that. How are you protecting the CO2s and all these devices and stuff from the energy parasites?
Because I'm in control of them.
Cool.
I created them, and when I add the salt water to it, I'm adding my intent.
Awesome.
I'm programming the water before it even goes into the kit. So therefore, as you would say, the water belongs to me, and my intent at that time will be saved. And when you put the CO2 kit together inside the salt water, it creates an energy field that traps my intent inside of that water.
Cool.
Therefore, it cannot be altered or changed. That's why some people will see a different outcome of their neutrino or GANs creations, because their intent was different. They just expected it to work without saying please or being nice.
Wow.
And you'll be amazed when you talk to these reactors, because they're subatomic reactors. They're not nuclear reactors. They're subatomic.
Yep.
And it's so there's no radiation or anything like that. You're capturing the neutrinos from the atmosphere. Okay.
Okay.
And you're using that energy field to trap it inside of the water. Well, I've got 40 of those energy fields, and I'll be arranging them around our project.
Wow.
Now, once I put salt water in it, that activates them. Now, even after I drain the salt water from there, the energy field still exists. It's just not trapping anything. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So you can set these devices aside after they've been cleaned out. If you just rinse them out with water, the GANs or the neutrinos still stick to the sides. They're nanomaterials. Okay?
Nice.
So you still have that whole that's there. And that's what we'll be using. But I need your guys' intent to all be the same, of free energy, okay? And that you're giving your knowledge, your time, and your love unconditionally. And that's the key here.
All I have to say is that my intent is to do this and that it'll happen.
That's what we need. We need this to happen, because if the reports that I'm seeing on Facebook, because that's really my only news source of the whole purchasing of the pipeline and things like that, if that's all true, then things are heating up really quickly.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm not too happy about that.
And they're trying to incite the violence on the ground because they know that the Native Americans will fight with blood. Okay?
Yeah.
And they're doing that on purpose, and that's why we're going there. If you believe in any of the prophecies that are going down that you may, have heard, one of the favorite ones that seems to keep coming to mind for me is activating the Rainbow Warriors. Okay? It's in my head. I cannot get it out of my head. And so
are we right now? Are we in your room, Mike? Because it's as if we've entered your room and now suddenly you're teaching us and suddenly you're controlling the whole thing. And we're in your room.
Supposed to be for right now, because
so I feel suckered in, to be honest with you. And you can't sucker me in.
Well, then you can leave. It's okay. Somebody will fill your time.
I'll join the group with Crystal, as usual.
I'm asking you to reach out and help. If you want to be the center of attention, you may have your own group. That's fine. Okay?
I will have to interject here, okay?
Please, because Crystal, you invited me to a group meeting, and I don't feel like we're a group. I feel we're like being sucked into somebody else's group.
You have to be part of the same idea.
And
you can't
I don't have to do anything, but you have to be part of the group. We're not You wanted to introduce yourself to the group, right? You're the one who wanted to introduce
You're
yourself
not
to the
to be
group.
ejected from this group if you do not sit down and be quiet, please.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
but I'm going to talk as much as
I
I
don't
want.
care if you're sorry. This has nothing to do with ego. This is about setting
I'm
boundaries.
not talking about ego.
Okay.
I'm talking about you not being my teacher, never have and never will
I'm
be.
not asking to be your teacher. Okay. I'm asking you to follow me and do something that I need to
follow you. I'm on
do.
my own path. I'm doing my own thing. I'm sharing like you. I don't need to follow. I
That's
already
the
have
idea
the
here.
stuff that you're talking about made. And I
know.
build it
You want the
as big as I
recognition
want.
that
I
you're
have the battery. I
I'm
have
trying
the
to show
card.
you how to do it.
It's
Do
not
you want to leave or do you want to be part of this?
No,
I'm not here to
Okay,
have a missing
I will have to interject here, gentlemen. Okay, I'll have to interject here.
It's not an ego
Look,
thing. It's just a reality you're projecting is not mine.
Can I speak,
Then you
please?
may leave because you need to be part of my reality at this point because we
I
have to have
don't
a
need to
focus.
do anything. Stop with that.
Okay?
What's your attitude? You need to do. Do you need to do anything?
I am doing it. I didn't ask for you. You
Look.
asked to be.
I didn't ask to be
No,
here.
hang on. Can I speak, please? Can I speak, please? Right. Now, this is a very beautiful project. It can be such a wonderful project if we can all work together.
It's about context, okay? It's about context. We're supposed to be a group. He comes in. He says he controls everything. Did he ask our opinion? Not even. He didn't even consider. He put himself on top of the charts thinking he's better than anybody else. When we're all pretty much enlightened people here, he can't step in as an equal. What's going on here, Mike? You're still going on with the same stuff again and again? That you're the only messiah on the world, or what? Can we just be
I
equal?
don't even know why you're using those words. Okay?
Can we be
They don't
equal?
come out of my mouth. They never have. All right?
You said that
You want your products out there? I know you have good products. I'm asking you for your expertise in your science department, not in the structure of my organization, and that's why you're here.
Okay, I don't understand what's going
I
on.
need your engineer expertise. Okay? That's what I'm building here.
Okay,
Is the
well,
structure.
if I don't want to be here,
Build the information.
if
If you don't want that, that's fine. You may leave. I'm not. That doesn't hurt my feelings. We'll still work together. Whatever.
Crystal, because
This is to help humanity.
Now,
she
look.
organized this, asking the group that I said I was part in, but usually I'm never part of a group. Even when
Then
I
don't be. Don't be by yourself. All right. We need to move on. I'm on time.
We're all individuals. We're all humans.
Listen. I give me a chance to speak, please. Okay. When Mike first introduced this idea to me, I thought it's great because we're all doing this for humanity. So I talked to my group and I talked to Stefan because he's one of the most brilliant ones when it comes to the scientific side of the technology, and along with Fred as well. They are the best from physics. And I said, look, let's join forces because this is what physics is about. It's not about separation, it's not about division. Physics is about unity and working together in harmony so we can come up with something that will help humanity. And then Mike comes in with this idea and I thought, wow, this is fantastic. And Mike says, why don't we all work together, get those good guys who are good with the technology in physics to join in this project, and together we will come up with a good prototype that is going to work, and that's going to be so good for everyone because it's going to fit into the vehicles and it's going to run fuelless, and it will be part of the protest of the Dakota oil pipeline protest. And this is going to go down very well with everyone. It will solve.
I agree with Crystal.
I'm
No,
already
I
there, Crystal, so if you guys want to help, it's okay.
Stefan
I don't mind it.
It's a good idea. I love to work together. And so he's here, he's got a good heart to assist in this project, and it's for humanity. And then that's why I came up with the writing in the email that everyone works together puts a piece on the table, and together we will come up with something that is really good, and that everyone who puts in their piece to make the whole will get recognition as in an acknowledgement of what they have contributed. And it's a
You get to set the standards. That's the point here. Each of you has an expertise that you're bringing to the table that I don't have. And I don't want to learn that again, because it's difficult to go from a higher dimensional thinking back down to this one and trying to jump back and forth. And it's becoming increasingly difficult for myself. And I've got to be able to focus you guys, okay, and take each of your expertise and bring it together. You guys set the standards, okay?
I think it's a misunderstanding here, Mike. You did say that you would like to invite Mr. Cash as well, which you said earlier as well in this meeting that you had.
Every plasma scientist is invited to this, because this is world peace. This is how you're going to get it.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to make products to sell to people.
This is physics objective, to bring everyone together, everyone that had been
and that's the goal here.
Yeah.
I just need there needs to be a structure of people and what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
You know, Fraz has a department, you know, expertise that he brings to the table. So does James, okay? So does Stephen, you know, so do you, Crystal. Everybody has a little piece of the puzzle to bring together on this.
Yeah.
Okay?
We're already together, so it's like you're coming in and now you're the piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I think Stefan's contention here is if you bring Mr. Cash in and you also bring Kosol in, so who is going to be the teacher? I think that's what Stefan meant.
It's a collaboration, because I already have a vehicle that's giving me a reading of 99.9 miles per gallon.
Wow.
It's a reading, but it's not sustainable yet, okay? Which means that I need you guys' help to make it sustainable. And so I've already got a prototype that's here, and that's what I need help working on. Now, I've got to put spinning reactors, I've got to change out the reactors, maybe change out the liquids. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to have 40 different types of nanomaterials to work from in order to do that. And we're going to be able to make this vehicle completely plasmatic. And that's the whole goal here. Now, when I drive, I plan on not just driving this truck up here, guys. I'm talking about a major advertising campaign, okay, for free energy. But I'm going to cause a ruckus, because I'm going to try to pull up the Texas Rangers, and I'm going to pull up the Texans, the good old boys that are down here, okay, to rise up and help these tribal leaders. I'm going to make some noise, okay?
Right. Can I say something?
I need you guys to help make that noise.
I just want to make this clear so that everyone can work together in peace and harmony, in unity. Okay, Stefan, somebody has to take the lead, and why not Mike? Because it's his idea in the first place. And he's explaining, but out of habit. I mean, he's so used to teaching.
Okay.
In his own group, out of habit, he says.
Let me put it this way.
We'll be teaching, okay? Maybe that's an oversight there somewhere. But you guys are fantastic with what you do, and I really respect your genius in what you do, Stefan. And you got your own. Genius, and so does Fraz, and so does Mike, and so does Kusol, so does Mr. Cash. So you're all geniuses in your own way, from your own directions, okay? So no one is above the other. So I really love to see you working in unity, my brothers, and I would be so pleased if you.
Let me explain how this goes. First of all, I've been twisting coils for the past 9 months. I'm at the place where I invented the devices that will change the whole game. And we're not talking about regular coils. We're talking about nanomaterials in layers made with devices, 3D. And right now it allows us to do micron thick layers. and I could build systems that will light up the world. Because at the end of the day, voltage went up this battery, and it had to work for 6 days consecutive on this light. I had turned it off because it's not important anymore. I know when it sustains that, you know, I don't need to let it run. I did other tests with it, and the thing right now is, like Mike says, when you have a system, when it's small scale, it does something. You put it bigger, it does it. So I'm really at the point where I just have to fill up these tubes, and I already got the nano side of it. The door's open, and I'm playing around with it. So I'm playing around like with this, has layers of graphene, layers of ganses where I want it. It has metals in it where I want it. So you see, this is the direction where the technology is going to be going, because with this little device, I could build 1,000 cells like this inside of it. Like that.
Really cool, man.
Let's build one. The idea here.
So it's there, guys. So if you want to use it, use it. The idea is there. But somebody's got to build it, and now everybody's going to build it in their different ways. And it's okay. That's where it's there for. But that's where it's going. See, now next time you see me, if all goes well, I'm going to have that device. I'm going to have designed it. I'm going to have the layering, the different metals in it. I'm going to have the 1,000 cells or the 512 or whatever I could achieve for that pointing point. So, but I know it's there, and once we do it there, better machines do it better. So the vision's always been, we're talking about nano, and the ganses could be reduced to very small scales and have the same effect. Graphene can be used in the same small scale and have any effects that we want. Any metal can have any effect that we want. So it's always been there. It's always about the gap.
Well, we need your expertise. And if that's something that works for you on your experimental side and you want to recreate it here, I have the means to be able to recreate it here, okay, to make it rematerialize on this side. And that's really what I'm asking you to do out here, is to take your best product and teach me how to make it so that I can get the same results that you're getting, because you're making a lot of claims about your voltage and everything. And it's awesome. Let's use it. All right? Let the world know who you are.
It's that
simple. You know, it's that kind of stuff that I need on this truck, but I need to be able to show you guys, you know, when we have time and we're ready and we're in scientific mode, okay? And I show you the truck. I've got to take the O2 sensor off. I don't know where that's at, so I've got to do my research or get a mechanic out here for that kind of stuff, okay? Those kinds of things are going to be put in place, and we're going to modify this truck as we're building it, okay, as we're going through so that we can complete the circuit.
There's going to be many ways to go upon it, and your expertise in creating, like hydrogen, let's say, we all know how to do it now, but different matters that we can use to power the car even more, because we gotta think along the terms that there's 10,000 ways, you know, of tapping into energy and to utilizing it more and more efficiently. So making everything more efficient, putting, you know, like as one mentioned, the ping pong balls on the wheel. We go with the works, you know, but the basic is right now the ganses do the job. They give out a certain voltage and they don't lose energy. You unplug it, the voltage comes back to exactly where it was. The only drop we have is when you put your load on it. It's what I call an initial drop. Like anything that you plug on a battery always has initial drain. You kind of lose some voltage right off the bat. The same thing happens here, but it lights up the light and it always stays there.
Right, and now you don't have to figure all that out by yourself. Okay.
Well, I already figured that out. That's what you need to understand. And not only that I had figured this out, I figured so long before the nano with the 3D is like, hey, everybody right now, just that idea is going to open the doors to devices you never imagined before. It makes things so easy. It's child's play. And on top of that, we're going to be going nano. The more our devices we're going to be able to play with atoms, well, the more it's the same thing. It's going to be so easy to make energy. It'd be a joke. It already is in a certain way. The joke is that right now, on this scale, I got to do 1,000. On this scale, I got to do 1,000, and it pretty much does it on its own, just as long as I monitor it, put my layers at the right time. But there's work to be done because I'd like to have single layer graphene, but I could work with caustic and all that with pennies. So, but there's a direction where I'm going. The direction is single layer atom graphene, making with ganses, with gaps, capacitors, cells, call it what you want, different metals to create different potentials and different field interaction wherever you want. But put it this way. You got a cube with 1,000 cubes in it, and they all have 2 R's, and they all have 3 layers of ganses, like cube within cubes and cubes and cubes. You could press on a button and light out any geometric form you could think of with the ganses that you want, or all the 64 elements one day, right? And we're going to be able to do anything.
Well, do you have funding for this?
Pardon?
Do you have funding for this yet?
Well, so far, little donations here and there brought me to where I am. Okay. And to be honest, it's a place where
the Infinity Project is about helping you make money. All right?
Well,
we're trying to make a name for you and Fraz and James and everybody else that wants to make a name for themselves. All right? We're not trying to control anything and just trying to give you guys the guidance so we can go bust out and say, hey, look.
You can even make them and sell them. There's no attachment.
I don't want to make anymore. I've made all of the devices necessary.
It's given. Okay?
Hey, Mike, I've got a question.
I love from Mr. Kesh, and I love to give. Okay, and I give it.
Well, good. Let's give them something that they can use, and we'll put it together.
Enjoy. I worked hard to get here. A lot of cries.
Well, did.
Well, did, yeah. But now is where your expertise, once you have this, you plug your device on it, that's where you're going to start doing your thing. Because you need the energy. Once you have it, you have all these forms, you're going to be creating fields of all sorts of things.
I don't really want to be making anything else, honestly. This is why I'm doing this, because I know I have a lot to teach, but I don't necessarily want to be making multiple products. You guys keep upgrading and you keep experimenting. The Infinity Project is designed for all of you creators to make money. Okay? And that's it. We're just kind of giving an umbrella for light workers and plasma workers to all fall under, okay? Under the law of one. Okay, you're creators. You get to do it. We got to break.
Sorry to interrupt. I've got a question.
I'm fed what I need. I don't ask for more, in the sense that, for sure, that if somebody will give me a donation, I'll buy a better machine and I'll bring it somewhere else. I'll continue.
Big donation when you help us.
It's about building this. Theoretically, I'm like you. You get tired, but since I'm always innovating, it's a fun part. I'm like a kid. Okay. So that I don't have trouble. But going back,
imagination, Stephen. I need you to be quiet for a second, please. Somebody else has a question.
Yeah, I've got a question about mainly your security, but the security of the vehicle as well. What exactly are you going to do to keep them from, swarming into the car or something like that, or, shooting you, or, handcuffing you? What are you going to do?
If it happens, it happens. All right. I'm following my nose, and I've been doing this for a little while here, and nobody has been here and messed with me. Okay. I'm not hiding it. I've been blatant. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm challenging my own government. I know this. Okay. But it's not, I'm not challenging them to come get me. This is a peaceful action. Okay. everything about my work is all about peace. Nothing violent. You'll never hear me say, grab your guns and let's go, because that's not how this works.
No.
So, they have no reason to come out and arrest me or harass me or do any of those kinds of things. My vibration is much higher than theirs.
Yep.
And so basically it feels like they can't even see me at some point,
Yeah. If you have a problem with them, let me know.
You'll know. There'd be a lot of people making a big stink about it because, I am about peace.
Damn straight.
And I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for the world to know who me and my family is, because we think differently. We want them to understand what a different way of thinking can do for your life, period, in general. And
exactly. I'd like to maybe see a machine of sorts, nano machine, that can actually change the wavelength of their own brains. Even if they're controlled or under control, they still lose that control over the puppet per se.
To me, all machines are sentient because I could see their energy at some point. Just recently, I've been able to hear other frequencies that are coming from the machines, like my refrigerator and things like that. It's been quite a process here. Andrea would like to take a few minutes to explain some things, I guess, to help you guys understand me a little bit better. Maybe to make it a little easier to work with me. I know I can be an asshole. I know I can be very frank and very forward. Please don't take it seriously.
Don't worry about it. You just care. That's all.
I remove the emotion from things so that I'm as efficient as possible, and that's the easiest way to describe what happens. But she adds a little bit of warmth to all of that, and makes me smile. And she takes really good care of me. And this is kind of one of those moments when my dogs are grumpy.
Well, I lived with Mike for a long time. Really, he's ex-military. Been to Iraq twice, so that should tell you a little bit of what we've had to go through. Because he just came back. Well, was just discharged about a year after coming back when we got together.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. My dad was a military man too. No excuse for me, but so we've been through a lot, and he has that direct order type mentality a lot of the time, and has to do with how he approaches people and how also he responds best when approached. We all went through with him, but a huge mental change because of the plasma and learning about the plasma, and also probably the 6 months before we found the plasma thing, we also were investigating food because we were both becoming sick, and we were realizing all the stuff they're doing to the food and the GMOs and the chemtrails and the everything else that was going on. And he kind of came about 6 months before he found plasma. He kind of came to the realization that maybe he didn't go to war for the peace he thought he was fighting for. So that all compounded, and then the plasma gave him something to focus on. And so, like he said, he sat on the floor and made copper devices for a year and waited for Mr. Kesh to help him change his life. And it's slow, but it's coming. And we see it coming, but we want we want to help people see some actual change in their life. The best way to approach him is, like I said, with a military mentality, is just to ask direct questions, especially about specific things. We both meditate regularly, and I please everyone start meditating regularly. But he feels he has a connection to source, and that he has all of this information that wants to spew out, but it doesn't come like a book. It doesn't come written chapter by chapter where it is going to serve him, really, until someone asks a question that he can go to that file in his head, so to speak, and give the information.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The truck thing, I think it'd be best if we just started networking. I know there's however many of you that are here probably have owned a car, probably have known a mechanic, probably are friends with a mechanic, an engineer, or a mechanical engineer. And maybe it's time for us to reach out to those people who maybe you haven't before, or maybe who haven't expressed an interest, and ask for an hour of their time and explain what you're trying to do, and ask if they have any quick, not necessarily, you don't have to involve them fully if they don't want to be, but just ask for an hour and ask them if they have any quick suggestions on how you could get this working. And like Stephen said, everyone's experienced, I think, problems with the initial load. So definitely a thing to ask about would be what a mechanic thinks about a starter, how we're going to be able to push that load to get everything running in the beginning, because if you can't turn the car on, you can't tell about your gas mileage and all that stuff. But things like that, some people could get together and say, hey, let's start working on capacitors and see, where we can go in that. Somebody else can start working on the starter. That's what we're really wanting here. We're wanting collaboration, not necessarily to teach each other, but as we each come up with things and say, hey, I made this capacitor and I put 4 of them together and now it's pushing such and such. And then the starter guy comes in and says, well, we've attached 2 extra batteries, but we need an initial drive of something. Maybe this capacitor will work. Sort of piecemeal is what I think he's trying to do here. Not necessarily everybody work on the whole car, go out to your car and start working on trying to put this together at once, but all of us come together either daily, weekly, on the weekends, whenever, and get together with the people that we know, the networking. Even go down to your local mechanic shop and ask him if you could, buy him a beer and sit at a bar and talk about it or something. Just anything you can think of to get somebody with some mechanical truck car knowledge to feed you some of that knowledge, so your own plasma experience can kind of put it together and try to draw up a little model of what's going to go on in your head.
Speaking of networking, and I apologize for interrupting, but is there a way that we can keep them from trying to either hand over the internet to ICANN or to stop them from trying to turn off the internet? Because without that, we can't do this.
No, that's not true. Even if they shut off the internet, the Earth is about to undergo a pole shift on the plasmatic level. And when that happens, everybody becomes telepathic of some sort. It's just learning to know that you have it, all right? That's going to happen. But as far as the internet's going down, it's more of a scare tactic, okay?
Yeah, they need to, they take it out, even residential, they're going to have problems.
Yeah,
of their own.
It's an entire network.
So it's basically all a made-up fable to keep us in the scared realm.
I don't think you can kill the internet right now.
No, I don't think so either, because I don't believe in satellites, which means I believe in sea cables, okay? Giant sea cables.
Well, they're there.
Yeah, they're definitely there. But that'd be the shooting themselves in their own foot. But yeah, anything that you hear about from the government that makes you feel fear, they're doing on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured, so I don't have to worry about October 1st.
I don't even know about October 1st.
They're handing over the internet to ICANN thanks to Obama.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means that they're taking the internet address, what do you call it, internet address. It's basically the what turns you know what an IP address is, right? Yes. Well, it's taking your IP address and turning it into a name server. So basically, like, say, I don't know, 127.0.0.1. What that would do, essentially, is turn that into localhost. So
I don't know what that means.
In order to access the internet, you need these server names in order to connect to the actual internet. Without them, it's like saying, hey, instead of going to ebay.com, why don't you go to 123.232.111.1?
Okay.
So without that, you cannot connect to the internet. And that's what they're trying to do.
Well, I'm pretty sure this sounds to me, just right off the bat, like a Y2K thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
The computer doesn't know that it's going to think that it's 1900. Well, so computer still exists. It doesn't know it didn't exist in 1900. It didn't really make a difference. But yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. That it's they're giving you just enough information to scare you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
They're
too.
not going to shut down the internet. Do you know how many people would get mad? And then also, hello, the people that are asleep, what are they distracted by? Because it ain't TV
The
anymore.
internet, you're right.
Right here, the phone. So all of those people would suddenly be like, hey, I don't like what's going on. And they walk forward and be like, are you going to turn on the internet? And then when they're like, no, or we've all screwed it up, they're going to revolt in a second.
Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah, exactly. There'll be a revolution of sorts against them.
By all means, they'll keep the internet on, I believe, unless they're ready for it to go down. Honestly.
Yeah, and when they're ready for it to go down, that means that they've given up and they want to lose.
Yeah, because we're still ants, guys. There's so many of us, and it doesn't matter how many of them are in power if you're surrounded by ants.
Exactly.
America, everybody is asleep. Everybody is focusing on Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, that gets on my nerves.
And it's just ridiculous that I've got to drive this red truck from Texas all the way up to this Indian reservation to help stick up for some people that that are having a hard time sticking up for themselves.
Exactly, and I agree with you.
We know that there's going to be a worldwide media presence there, okay? And if we can show up there, guys, with 2 or more vehicles that are running off of free energy, okay, and we announce that to a worldwide, media at the time, we literally will cut the head off the snake here, okay?
I agree.
We're not going to just get the car started and be like, woohoo, and drive down there. We're going to get all the schematics for everything we did. We're going to pass it out. We're going to print it. Print it.
Can you guys make an online PDF available for that so I can have a copy too?
We're going to hand it to our local mechanics. We're going to hand it to mechanics that we find along the way so that everybody at home can also make all of the things needed to do to their own car. So it's suddenly not 2 cars. It's an idea virus that's going to spread and spread and spread like a virus does.
And we just need to plant the idea that they can do this, okay? And
that it is possible, and that we don't have to have this, and this isn't an acceptable thing anymore because you don't have to accept it.
Any other way of displaying plasma technology out here will cause a really bloody revolution. Yep. And I spend a lot of time when I was in California meditating on this, on how to avoid bloodshed. Okay, because this technology is so quick and so powerful that it could and it should not be ever used to hurt anybody, but it can. And so the only way to protect against that and to protect against the suppression is to get it all out at once.
Exactly.
And that's what we want to offer is that final product before we can go out and start displaying all the information. We need to get that final product up and running, and that's why we're here. And I've asked you guys to come together, and I don't need your ideas to be, I'm not trying to take anybody's ideas and make money off of it. You guys are the creators of this, okay? You keep your names, you keep your stuff. I just want to be the umbrella because I feel like I've been walking upstream, all right, in this big-ass river, and I've turned around now, and I've got the water coming off my back so that now it's a little bit easier for you guys.
Absolutely. And
the idea here is to bring us all together, and everybody add your little piece to this. Focus on what it is that you're really good at, okay? You already have the knowledge, okay? I believe that everything happens for a reason, and so you guys sitting here watching this means that each of you has a piece to add to this puzzle, guys.
Absolutely. And
well,
I will
proposal. We've been talking for an hour. We haven't discussed anything about this device. And I feel like we're beating around the bush. And I want to introduce a proposal because there's a lot of talented people here. I almost think what we need to do is those of us who have a great idea should create a proposal, maybe a paragraph, a product, a design. And all of us will come together maybe, I don't know, a week from now or 2 weeks from now, next time that we meet, and we will present our proposal. And then what we'll do as a group, we will pick the best from each proposal and then try to combine it together into this better product, or at least if we could try to engineer and just go down these routes and explore this as options. So that way all of us can participate and feel like we're involved and not just one's working for another and this and that. Does anybody object to that idea?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's quite the latter. As for Mike's security and everything, I will be the dead man switch. So if they try anything, Mike, you let me know, and I will activate to release all the data.
Okay. I really love what James was saying. I think, yeah, it's time we start the action. That is, we come together today is because Mike says, okay, bring the scientists and the developers, the plasma developers, and together we're gonna build something which is awesome, which works 100%, and it will go so smooth when we launch this event. So here we are. We've got Stefan, we've got Fraz, we've got James, and we've got so many of us here, Anuj, Laurie, everyone here, each bringing a piece to the table to put the whole picture together.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Can we look at what is it that Mike has right now that is somewhat missing certain things that perhaps press expertise can add to, or something that Stefan could add to? Let's look at the prototypes. Let's look at the blueprint. Let's look at what can merge together to make this device so awesome that it's going to make the vehicle fuelless.
I agree with Crystal there. And also, Mike, do you want me to show off what I have so far, or did you want to wait?
We can go. Let's do this. I've been waiting, for a week, trying to gather my own thoughts and organize them. And, I just feel today is the day. And, like I said, we're not here to steal anybody's ideas. We're here to help you shine.
Of course. And I guess I'll go ahead and show off the site that I have right now, which I refactored the entire site, so now it works with mobile devices.
Okay. Hold on, Zach. We're not going to do the site right now. It's not this one.
Oh, okay.
I know you want to show it. I know you want to show it off yet. That's not this particular meeting. This one is for materials.
Okay, if I may add, right. First thing first. Before we start organizing an event, we must have the product that is the pivot of everything. Okay, and this will be the device, the ultimate device that is going to make it work 100%. Okay, otherwise we'll be falling flat on our faces when we go to Central Park in New York and we start demonstrating it in 3 hours flat, because that's a plan Mike has. 3 hours flat, we should be able to come up with this device, because we're demonstrating to the people how easy it is to come up with their own device, right? So this is how we can help humanity at large. So now, from now until, well, do we set ourselves a deadline, maybe a month or 2 months down the road, we have the luxury of the time to come up with this fail-safe prototype that is going to work 100%, that is tested over and over and over, rehearsed over and over before we can even think of starting the event. Right?
I'm going to have to agree with her.
You explained what you've already done.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
So what I mean to say is this is the first stage, okay? Let's do this prototype first, and then we will think of organizing the event. How's
Absolutely.
Now,
And
what I've already done with the truck, I've just done everything that you guys that are in the plasma community has already done to their vehicles, all right? I've put a spinning reactor on my dashboard with a little computer fan with a ping pong ball.
That's really cool.
Zach, please just stop chatting for just a second. It's loud on this end.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like you're yelling at me. I've got a spinning reactor that is on my dashboard. Okay, I have a pancake capacitor using just caustic and paper towel inside of a plastic bag, and then I've got aluminum in between those plastic bags, and they're all stacked. And so I've got 8 that are all sandwiched together. I call it a pancake capacitor. Okay, that is connected to the negative terminal on my battery. Okay, it doesn't lead anywhere. At one point, I had it connected to the ground on the truck. The day I left California, I got up to the truck and said to cut that wire. I cut that wire, my truck started right up, and I drove to Texas. Before then, everything reversed in the truck. Okay, so what I think what happened is that I did a plasma defibrillator in the truck when I did that, because it drained the battery inside of my pickup truck completely down. And then when did a jump start, all of a sudden everything just came back to life. All the gauges, all of that. And it was acting like there was a physical break in like the fuse, because things that were turned off were all controlled by fuses, lights and the gauges and things like that in the dash. Some lights worked, some did not, you know. And when all that happened, we gave it a jump start. The gauges still stayed off, the lights still stayed off, but the engine was running. Oh, and the windows didn't work. Came out the next day, cut the wire, everything came back to life, and it just had a heartbeat, and we started talking about it. You may have seen videos with it beeping and everything like that. Now, I have a solid core reactor, or a liquid core reactor, in a solid outer casing. All right, I used resin, all right, inside of a copper container, all right, that's been nano coated. I put put a ping pong ball inside of the bigger sphere. So I had 2 spheres inside that were filled with water, okay? CO2 water, and the center one had a drop of my blood in it, and some CO2 and CH3 and copper oxide in the center, okay? The water. And then I put that inside of the container, and I put resin around it, and I put fruit slices, okay, inside of that the resin. Okay, I put some grapes, whole grapes in there. I put a slice of kiwi, I put a slice of orange. I was trying to trap the energy of the natural fruit and the juices, the mixtures of the sugars and the all of it. It was all blended into my mind, so that's why I stuck in there.
Is that so you wouldn't get hungry in the car?
Well, it was to absorb the energies. Yes, literally. It was to. I know it happens when the resin heats up. Okay, it expands, and then when it cools again, it creates a vacuum condition inside of there. Therefore, you're opening up the GANs, or the neutrinos, inside of the fruit. Okay, so that's why I put it inside of there. It's literally, we don't even need copper wires anymore, guys, but the public do. They will not be satisfied with orange slices and some resin and getting all the energy they ever needed off of it. They will revolt, and it would be bloody. Okay. I mean, if they knew that their oranges could have, supplied them with all the energy that they could possibly need, they would not be happy at all.
So just because
Nope.
it's a scurvy?
Yes, all of it. You can do. There's so much you can do when you work with the resin, that we need to experiment with, and that's why I was. The next thing I wanted to ask you guys to do was to put your crystals, things like that. Put them in there. Put all of the things that you're working on, even your capacitors. Okay, try them in the resin. Okay, And when you do that, you get solid core reactor, and you don't have to worry about your capacitors drawing out. Okay? And
Incredible.
I need you guys to come together on that if you can. Try to put the MagGrav coils, if you've got them. If you're just using regular MagGrav coils, you should have 2 coils, which means that you can put a quad core wire or a Trinity wire through the center of those coils. All right, and that'll give you the extra field interaction that you need. You don't need to nanocoat that center core wire. It's just a regular copper wire, okay? And then you should be able to draw all of the energy that you need, and you got your little secret security code because it's your twistings, okay? And if you can bury that in your resin, it doesn't matter how big or how small it is here, guys, all right? It's what you have available to you. Okay, because as above, so below. The number of twists doesn't matter at this point because you're opening up the etheric fields. Okay? But I need you guys to test that stuff with your meters to see how far your fields are expanding, because you need your field to initially expand beyond the vehicle. Okay? And that's where we're working here.
Mike, I was just wondering, because Press has his own style of doing his own powerful plasma energy, and so does Stefan. So how do we combine? Are we thinking in the right direction? It's just an idea. It's just a suggestion. Do we do the test on these 3 different devices, say for example Press's and Stefan's and yours, and test it out? Do you want to go individually that way, or do you want to combine some of the best that you've come up with? Some of the best elements to combine together in one device, and then test.
I'm asking you to test, experiment on your own, okay, using these specific parameters, okay? And in doing so, share the results, and if we have something that's favorable, then, maybe somebody else will want to join in and say, okay, now you've learned from those mistakes already. I don't need to make those. Let's move forward from here. Okay, and it's kind of like leapfrogging everybody and helping. And in NASCAR, it's called slingshotting. Okay, yeah, that kind of thing. So
if I may ask, you have come up to this level, this stage of your Infinity device. Is there anything that you think Press has got? Because I think you did listen in some of the physics meetings when Press was showing his way of doing things and Stefan was doing his way as well. Is there anything you think that they could add to your device that could improve it with the output of the energy level?
Anything and everything that you guys add to the IQs or any of the devices is adding to it. All right. I've only been able to give the bare bones. Okay, the ground floor. So everything that you add to it is going to increase the power and the energy output. Okay, it's just like when you build the IQ, you'll understand that it's repetition over and over again. That's the way the universe is. It's fractal. It's like standing in a house of mirrors. Okay.
So, Press, what do you think? I mean, Mike here has described his Infinity device, how he's going to plug it in and whatnot. So, what's your take on this, Press?
Well, you've got when you disconnected that one wire, and basically you've got rid of your dead short in your electrical system, in your car or truck electrical system. We're finding that having that gap is important. We're looking at taking the two sections of the mag grabs. Let's say you have instead of a 3-stacker in your car, you just have a 2-stacker, the flat mag grabs. The two are not connected. You're not taking the magnetic and going into the gravitational of the other. You're actually separating the two. And so that sets up an impedance, that sets up a plasma field in between. I've got customers, so I've got a scoop. I'll get back to you, but what you did was you set up this capacitance. The problem that Stefan is having in a way is that his device, what he's working on right now, is a a printer, a 3D printer, and is layering in the different layers where you're casting them in rosin. When we cast our stuff into rosin, it's kind of like putting it into, let's say, a tombstone. It's there. You really can't take it apart once you've cast it. So those are the concerns that I imagine that will be back and forth. What we're looking at in the schematic that I posted a little while ago, and I don't have time to bring it up right now, is that we have to watch our flows through our capacitors when we put them together, plus to minus, plus to minus, and plus to minus, and also in series where we have four capacitors hooked together, minus to minus, plus to plus, but that unit goes into another unit and offset the numbers so that you're like going 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 through it, because then each one is satisfied at a different level. And it's kind of like a rotary engine, each part of each cylinder firing at a different time to make it work. I've got to scoot. I'll be back in a bit.
Thank you. I see it very much.
We would like to see your diagram, your connection diagram, because I think that will be useful.
Well, not at the moment. I don't have the blueprint written up. Everything's in my head.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, can you check the chat real quick?
No, and like Fraz said, it's not true that everything's contained. You could make buckets. You could make anything you want in this. It is very light, so everything passes through it. It's very thin, so everything acts like a capacitor. So Mike's, he was wrong on what he said. He doesn't fully, he hasn't made the test yet.
Stefan, would you be able to show your 3D printer to see, so that we all could see where it can be useful for perfecting the device?
Yes, I could show you an image of it, but right now it's not running.
Maybe you could explain how it works.
Cool.
It's pretty basic. It wasn't that expensive. I paid $360 for this unit. I had to build it up myself, and but it went pretty well. It must have took between 8 to 12 hours to build. And
interject any nanomaterials into your plastics?
Yeah, that's what I said. I build everything by layers by layers. I could do whatever I want on each layer. That's what I do with my devices right now.
Well, what I mean, are you
actually added graphene by layer, gases by layer, crystals by layer, metals by layer. So everything could be done actually while printing.
Yeah, how are you doing it? Are you using like hot water or dried nanomaterials? What are you adding to the plastic?
Right now I'm adding single layer graphene that I purchased when it comes to the layering. So it was pretty expensive, like $60 for just a small amount. And then I went with my ganses in order of magnitude, from strongest to weakest. And then I ended up at the end on the top of it, mixing crystals, quartz, and CO2.
Nice. I was just trying to see understand the infusion method that you were using.
Yeah, well, but pretty basic, man. It worked. Everything worked off the vat. I mean, I could brush it in. I could caustic. I could even fire coat. I could do so many things. It's incredible, and how the precision of it is 0.2 millimeters.
Okay.
Well, the base material is plastic, right, Stefan?
There's all sorts of materials. Right now, I'm just using the one I ordered. So I'm going to go through all the materials that are there. And there are conductive ones, but it's $250 a roll of filament. So right now, I'm using other techniques. And I'm sure at the end of the day, I'm gonna want that conductor. You know what I mean? So I'm working with what I have, but I know what I have to do.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that, because I'm in the market now for a 3D printer, but I'm looking more like copper, which
Yeah.
kind of spendy. So if somebody's got some ideas out there for that, I need to be able to see it in order to add it to my wish list, in my brain. And if you guys know of anybody who's got a good company, or you even knows how to build one, we can build one. That's what we are. We're creators. So, we're looking to infuse. I watched a movie the other day, Ant-Man.
That's a great movie.
It's a good movie, and it's very much so plausible. And the timing of it is kind of impeccable, because, really all you do need is a nano-coated suit that you can put on, and you can go subatomic. That's teleportation. So it does work that way, but we've got to be able to get fabricators, and other companies. I really don't want to have to reinvent the wheel and rebuild 3D printers, because I know they already exist. It's just a matter of getting people on board to help with bigger funding projects. And
yes, of course, yes. I'm planning to build houses soon, dome houses. So I'm going to be designing or coming up, with one. I already have a few designs in hand. So
yeah,
I'm putting into creation right now, people having a better lifestyle.
right. Now, if you guys could, come up with your best, for you, Stephen, isn't it your forte, I guess you would say, is capacitors and energy storage?
Yeah, well, the next step for me is either there's only one way to go. I'm going to put it on the table, and you're going to plug your car, and it's all going to be electric and self-sustaining.
Okay, well, that's good. That's perfect what we need here. If that's the way this whole system works, I'll rip it all off of my truck, and I'll plug your system in. That's,
At the end of the day,
fine.
that's what I'm reaching for.
It needs to be cosmetic.
To do it alone. Now I need the roll of filaments. I need to design it. I need to build it. I mean,
I need to help focus your brain, because you're so smart.
well, it goes like this, There's 3D programs. Now you gotta know how to design a 3D program. That could take about a year just to learn.
But there's somebody out there who's already done it.
No, but I've done that year.
I haven't, and I don't want to.
But I have to
try
get
to
out.
replace somebody who likes that kind of stuff.
It's like in a certain way, it's like it's a one-man show, because it takes time just to build the machine, blah, 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 get to know it, to get to the point I am. So theoretically, if I put my energies in Blender and design the printer so it's going to print what I want it to print, because, I gotta have 1,000 squares in the cube. I gotta have holes for the wires. I gotta have, separations where the liquid doesn't leak. There's a lot of things to do. So the testing is all in that direction. It involves a lot of work, but I'll do it fast. But it's just going to be the basic thing. It's not going to be the thing because I don't have the money. I don't have the 3D printing machine. I don't have the graphene I need. I don't have the conductive filament at $300 a roll. There's some at $50, but the other one is the real thing.
Let me tell you,
the real zero ohm.
Stephen, what we're doing here, all right, as we're working with this, we're also going to be launching 3 simultaneous crowdfunding campaigns. Okay? You're going to get the world behind your ass to help you and to support you. And we'll have a GoFundMe, a Kickstarter, and an Indiegogo campaign. All right? Because we want to put this out in front of the philanthropic, whatever that name is, public.
Yeah.
All right? we want to put that information out in front of them, all right? Because crowdfunding is being given unconditionally.
There's another thing, there's the corrosion of the wiring.
Those are all things that we've got to work out as our plasma scientists. And what we're doing is we're going to make this a public event. All
I know
right.
graphene can cover that part, but you know, to put graphene one atom thick on something is not something that we can do. It's not like we can.
But if you had the money to buy a 3D printer that could print one layer of atom thick of graphene, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be amazing.
That's the kind of money that I'm asking for here. I'm not playing around. I know this equipment exists, and I know it's here. Let's make our jobs easier. We just got.
I'm going to jump in and give up Stefan here a minute. Stefan?
Yes.
I'm going to jump in.
Yes.
One of the things you're going to find as a problem with your 3D printer is that the material is porous. So that if you want to, yeah, it's amazingly porous.
Yes.
We've been doing some stuff with spinning balls of GANs, and if you thought your ping pong ball was porous, wait till you spin your 3D printer balls.
Think of it this way. When you have filament that's almost the size of a spider web, when you put graphene on it, it becomes a single capacitor.
Yes.
It has within that filament the capabilities to have field interaction with all the other filaments. So
correct.
It has to be used, you know, for the right direction.
Hold up. What I'm saying in the short version is to minimize the amount of liquid that's going to end up in your 3D models, and see if you can get into either a concentrate of GANs or a smaller amount, and that's what you're talking about.
At the end, really, it's about doing this one, you know, but, you know, utilizing the printer as best capabilities right now to attain.
And you may have to go with a glass vial inside of your 3D printed circuits. You know, it's just the way the material is with what you have already and which is available to you. Some of the things that I'm going to jump over to what's going on with the Indian reservation and why there's such a heavy push right now to have the pipeline stuck through. It has to do with financing. It has to do with being able to sell off the bonds that are already generated for that pipeline. And what's happening is with our technology, we are making those bonds worthless. And they have to basically get their project done, get them out on the market, get them sold before our technology hits. And that's the bottom line.
And that's why we need everybody here. Okay? The ideas on it just coming together. All right? We're not going to figure it out all in one day. We just need to figure out a little part at a time. And if each of us pick a part that we're best at, then we can piece it all together at the end. I will tell you that you're absolutely right, Fraz, about the plastic being so porous that the energy that you're trying to contain, even though it's nano-coated, sometimes cannot even be contained by the nano-coating because the holes are so big compared to the energy that you're trying to hold.
There's no limit to what we could do with all the materials we have. It's just thinking out of the box. It's not about thinking about what you're seeing right now. It's about all the thought that come along with it.
Well, because everything is as above, so below, if you make your coils, all right, and you make your smaller coils and then put them inside of your plastic spheres.
That's what I'm saying. Anything could be done. There's
and then add your resin to it. The resin stops the leak, all right?
Yes,
it stops the plasma leak. It creates a vacuum, all right, and makes it gravitational. So you don't have to have a big old resin reactor like I've got. I just have clear glass a test tube stuck in it so that I can put the different GANs inside of there and have the benefit of the energy fields.
What's really fun is when you reach a state, you kind of know, you know, like it comes along. I was about to try beeswax. Different stuff, it comes naturally. When you need it, when you see you need it, there's always a solution. That's pretty much where we all get. So, and that's the fun part is we're creating something, right? And we already have the answer. It's not like I needed some input. It's like I know it's so easy. You know, I got to this point.
You also got to learn to simplify.
Tomorrow is another reason, and the day after is another reason. It always comes.
Nobody says you've done anything wrong. Okay, nobody says you're doing anything wrong, and you're doing it the wrong way.
I'm just saying the input is not necessary because yes.
The input isn't for your benefit, sir. Okay.
Well, I'm here for the benefits. You just see what I just shared with
not
you.
Yours. You just calm down and relax, okay?
But it's already thought out.
All right, I'm done with this meeting for tonight. All right, I love you guys. I do not have the patience for this. All right, Stephen, your designs can be simplified down to one tube if you'll just listen.
Oh, I don't need to listen. I know how to simplify it to one.
I'm just telling you, it can be. You're doing so much more work than you need to be doing. Okay, you're trying to overanalyze every little detail.
The reality is not what's going on here. I already shared this. The reality is what I already created for myself and for those friends around there. And I'm here and I'm sharing it the same thing. So,
I know you've been sharing for a while, and I want you to be recognized for your work and your expertise. Okay.
I share my stuff. I don't want to be recognized for anything.
Yes, you do. I'm going to pat you on the ass. You did a good job. I appreciate all of everything that you've ever done and all the words that you've ever written, okay? Because you are sticking up for humanity. Nobody's here to take anything from you, okay?
Yeah, Stefan.
Nobody's here to take anything away from anybody. We're just coming together. We're going to share.
You know, he plays a song. You got Jimi Hendrix. He plays a song. And you got Bob Dylan, okay? And they meet. And then Bob Dylan says, hey, okay, guys, I'm going to put a rhythm on your song. My rhythm's already done. My beat's already started. I got the beat going. It's not for me to change that one. And it's for people to realize that when we reach a certain state, when we've invented something or discovered or rediscovering how easy it is to put the elements together, then that changes the whole consciousness. It's already, people are already building that 3D machine you're talking about because I already shared it with them and they're already doing it. So we are just going with the way.
Use, all right? Because everything's been theoretical now.
No, I got the light going on. It's not theoretical. I got the plasma device in front of me.
Theoretical to the public because it's not powering a house. Right?
Oh, that's perception. There will always be that.
It's their perception that we need to change. Okay? Your perception doesn't need to change.
I'm already just going with the flow, dude.
I'm not trying to change your perception. That's what you're thinking here. No, I want you to teach other people your perception.
I already did. It's that easy.
I want to give you a bigger audience. Okay? I know you like to talk. And being talking is teaching.
I just.
All right. Well, can you just,
all right.
Yeah,
okay.
how about both of you just come up with your best device, something that would be low cost to manufacture, because that's the key.
To be honest, I just put it on the table. If it's all I can do, it's already said, it's already done. It's like.
All right, give us the schematic and we'll test it.
Yeah, put it on a piece of paper. Just draw a sketch. You can even take a photo of your cell phone.
Put your money where your mouth is. Come on, let's put all your shit together that you
got. You see this slide here? I already showed it on camera. It's been
okay, you showed it. Let's do this. Apply yourself, Stephen.
I already did it. It's
I love you, man.
My shows.
What? I tell you what, Stephen, why don't you come up with a list of like plan A, plan B, plan C. This is the best options that you have. And Mike, you do the same. And
why don't you guys just do what I'm doing and you guys test it out, okay? It's that easy. I just told you. You just need to buy a 3D printing device. You got to lay your ganses. And then why don't you guys just do that? And we'll get a lot of tests.
Can you show us how did you layer your ganses in your 3D device? Did you actually pause it?
Paintbrush. I just took a paintbrush and I layered it.
Okay, you had to do it manually while it's printing then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not replicable by all parties in the group here, so I guess the
There's a video on it. I posted a video. It's 12 videos long. How I made the pyramid, and it's already posted. So and it's already explained.
Maybe there's
going and having fun. And I'm building newer ones, and I'm just like, okay, what am I going to do with this for? Let me build a device with it, and I'm just going with the flow. I haven't started opening Blender to do the 3D models because it's a completely other side of it, but I got to get into it to do the cube and do the 1,000 cells, but there's no hurry for me now because
okay. Well, maybe you can create a device that could drip the GONS onto the 3D printer while it's printing, so we can try to automate the process as much as possible.
Of course.
And maybe.
But I don't have time to do that right now because I got to do the blender and the 3D design of the cube.
And what about the new 3D printer that has like this vat of plastic and it uses a laser and it just pulls it right out? Has anyone seen that?
Oh man, there's so many beautiful 3D printers out there. It's incredible.
New technology. It takes literally takes 15. I'm assuming that pyramid probably took you maybe 8 hours to print.
Minimum, close to 12 and more.
Yeah, so we need something that's fast to save the cost because we want to make this affordable. I mentioned to Crystal and Stocks earlier that if we can bring the price target down to about $20 per unit, that would make a retail price of about $120, and that would make a viable product. If we could do that, I mean, I think maybe the maximum maybe $200, so that would be maybe $30 retail. I mean, $30 cost. If we can bring it down for that, that would be great.
Right. Yes, it'd be fantastic. Me, the only thing I do is go with the flow. I already ordered some like plasma gaps to create ozone. That I'll be able to do some field interactions that are going to be quite unique in the plasma because it's a direct plasma. I ordered inductors, heat inductors, because when you put metal in it, there's the magnetic field is so strong it turns the metal red, So I'm saying to myself, look, this is the center of the sun. It's right there in that coil. So I want to reach a place where my device gives me enough power to get that inductor going. Okay. And even if it's a very small one, and then with that maybe go towards another reaction, which will get the car going with a lot of power without needing to make the nano right now. There's so many ways to make things efficient, but it's a whole process. What I'm saying now would probably take me a year.
Hey, Stephen, we got people that are not so scientific that are here that don't necessarily want to hear all of this stuff just yet. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
That being the case, if I may suggest, I think we are happy to stay on for a little while because you three guys come from different scientific disciplines, so it's kind of difficult to calibrate now that you're coming together for the first time. Although you privately had not been for the first time, privately you had worked together before, I think. But bear in mind that Press is a very senior scientist here in plasma technology. He actually had Kusel as his protege before in the past, and he had not been given any due credit for doing that, but it's fine. And here Mike says, Stefan, that he's going to make sure that your name is going to be there down in the annals of history. So when we together join like this,
know who you guys are.
Work together in harmony and see.
I have no identity at this point.
Magic, okay? So we don't mind hanging around to hold the energy for you guys to calibrate and work together, okay, for a while. And then don't worry, Mike, that we are happy because we're learning from you guys when you are debating on technology, okay?
There is a much simpler way of doing all of this technology, guys, okay? And I've been trying to show you all, Stephen, your stuff can be simplified down, all right? It's great idea, great concepts, okay? But it can't be replicated at home just by anybody because, it's required to have a 3D printer.
No, you wanted, we're here to talk about to get your car going. So
I know. I need for you to go ahead and try it on your car. That's fine if that's what you want. But that's too complicated for the Infinity Project, okay? Because it's designed to get it out to public. Your designs are great. Continue on with your designs. I need parts or components of your design, not necessarily the whole thing, because you have the expertise in parts of it, okay? And it's that part, you know, and the understanding of how you're layering and how you're doing all of it is what we're going to be working on. And I'll be able to pick your brain so that I can recreate it here.
Yes, of course. Everybody will.
And that's the idea. And then we can get a schematic down, because what I do is I take other people's work and I simplify it down. Okay?
Well,
And I make it look as efficient or better.
Smaller than nano.
You know,
I already have.
It simplifies all the way down to a point where you guys are going to start to see it yourself. Okay? It's going to focus, and it's going to come down to 0 point. Right? And that's where you're going to see the 0 point energy. Right? That's my job. That's my job stuff. Made an IQ device yet? You know? Raz, have you made an IQ device?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you've seen the fields on that, right?
Yep.
Okay, that is the bare bones, all right? The energy that I see in my head, when you make the quad core, it's like making a bendable lightsaber, okay?
Yep.
So if you can visualize that energy, that bendable lightsaber that you have just put in a circle, that's what's creating the electromagnetic fields that you're picking up, okay? With your meter, your wireless meter, okay? You can get that with or without nanocoating, all right? If you use the center core, all right, and you have regular copper coils on the center core, and then you put a plastic sphere around that, okay? Fill that plastic sphere with a liquid, all right? And you have your little mini mag grab coils, 3 rings or something inside of that. I've already made it once, you know, I know it can be done. And then put that with a nano-coated set of rings around it, okay? You may have seen the pictures of Dawn's reactor, okay, where we had the ball, the bigger ball, and then the rings were setting on top of the ball, okay? We just put them directly on the ball, okay? All you're doing is giving space for the plasma. That's what the sphere is for, okay? You're trapping it with the water, okay? That's why the water is magnetical or gravitational depending on its salinity, okay? If it's salty, it's gravitational, which means it's attracting towards it. If it's fresh water, that means it's magnetical, that when you put your intention into it, it's like the record button is on always, okay? So fresh water is always recording, all right? So when you're thinking about that stuff, when you're putting them together, you're programming the water, okay? So if you can do something similar to that and make it as small as you need to, it doesn't matter. It's going to do the same field, all right? We just got to open up the God space of that hydrogen or that atom, okay, inside. You've got trillions of atoms inside of that water. You only need to open one, okay? And that's why we're simplifying this down, is that we only need to open up one of those atoms here. You guys, I can't do this, okay? I'm bringing you this information, and I affect free will, okay? I can only explain it. Once you physically open it, then I can do this, okay?
Okay.
And that's what I'm pushing for.
One of the things that I've got a question on your rosin, you've only created a temporary vacuum using your rosins. It'll spear out, it'll expand, harden, and then cool, and you'll get this partial vacuum. But that doesn't last very long. Just the properties of how porous the material is.
It'll last a lot longer, because you don't need, just like we don't need, millions of volts to run these. We only need nanovolts, okay? You only need whatever the nano version of measurement is for vacuum pressure, okay? Simply just by putting a regular copper coil around something can change the pressure inside of it enough to expand that energy out. And that's why I'm saying we don't need so much stuff, because sometimes we put so many field interactions and so many other things to it that it actually messes up the simplicity and the whole process,
So if you looking at 40 different Ganses then created at once.
I got to gather my materials first before I can put them in there. So if you guys have a list of materials that would be available to me here, okay, I've got my payday coming up, and I will be able to, as long as the parts and the pieces are not ridiculously expensive, then I will be able to do it. And most of it I can find out here, okay, that I'll find in nature.
You'll have in the short proximity of where you're at, anywhere from 50 to 100 different materials that can be made into nano, from organic to inorganic, from your metals to, you know, the dust, the plastic, the lint, whatever. Each one has a different property, and it's just a matter of how you're going to create your GANs with it, whether you're going to do it electronically, whether with electricity, whether you're going to use a caustic, or if you're going to use an acid to make it. And it's basically, that's the art of the GANs production, is how are you going to extract the GANs from the material that you're using.
Right.
Basically, those are your three easiest choices.
And that is Alchemy 101.
Yeah. It's really, once you get through with it, I mean, you've got sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, you've got your alkalis, you've got a couple of those to work with. You've got your electrical, where, you know, you can do it with or without a current in a saline solution, a salt solution. Other than that, your materials are readily available. Basically, as the saying goes, use what you've got right beside you. It's just a matter of going and saying, oh, that's something different.
Right.
And setting your GANs production. The last one that I've been working on is actually, because I ran out of seawater, we did this one, and that is just, I just emptied up all my old reactors into one single vat. You know, there's a little everything in there, and then ran a nano copper with a copper plate that hasn't nano coated against a zinc, and very, very low voltage. I mean, I had to crank the adjustable volt machine down to fractions, and it's producing some very bizarre things inside, and kind of fun. The gray, when we wash it, turns from gray to basically CO2 GANs, nice clear white from it. It's just what rinsing process. In the bottom, there's some crystals. The crystals are basically from what my silversmith came across as well. You've got zinc crystals, you've got some copper crystals, and it all disappeared in the nitric acid. But so it's just a matter of, you know, what else can you do that's different in the materials that you have in your yard, in your house, you know, right beside you. It's just thinking up new ways of setting up the reaction.
Well, let's, are you pretty etheric, Praz? You understand the etheric side, the spiritual side of things too as well?
Oh yeah. If you had a chance to look at my webpage, I write my book is Stories from the Deep.
Okay. Awesome. You know, I know that you've stuck around listening to me for a while, so I can't be too crazy for you, in the sense that I'm trying to organize my brain, okay? Because I think about something, it's not thinking about what somebody else needs. It's, you know, what am I worried about? What am I dealing with at this time? I have moved to a point now where I can see colors associated with flavor and taste, as well as smell. It's quite a trip. It's almost like I'm on a mushroom a dance down the fairy lane here, and I've questioned my sanity many times. The science side of things here is that you've got equipment that I don't have, and Steven's got equipment that I don't have and that you don't have, that goes around there, and there's going to be different things that we can do and add to each other's work here. And I know we're running out of time. We might be losing interest in some people here, but design your best reactor. You're going to have to sit down All right. The universe right now is telling me that each of you need to start over completely on a new concept that you've been thinking on. Okay. And you have to apply everything that you have learned so far into a new reactor. Okay. And in doing so, ask the questions along the way of what you should do and how you should do it. Okay, if you get to a blocking point. If you can't figure it out yourself, just ask and you'll be able to find that answer. The question, or the key here, is to ask each of us questions. Okay, because each of us are star seeds and we all have viable information that needs to get out to the world. I'm just understanding infinity. Okay, everybody else has got a different understanding, and I only see stuff in infinity. I only see stuff in energy, and it's really hard for me to retranslate it back into the 3D world. And that's what you guys come back and come with your expertise, you know, because it's not an expertise that I have. Okay, and so it's not me building this; it's just me helping you guys to fit your puzzle pieces together to help realize your dreams. Okay, and Dawn is an testament to being able to realize your dreams, and that's why she was so quick to be able to help us out with these products. Okay, and you know, with the truck and things like that. Okay, you guys have big hearts, and I know you guys want to help the world, and I know that together we can do that. You know, so I really just ask that you trust me, and when I say or ask you to do something or to make a modification, it isn't because I feel like I know better or anything. I'm just listening to my higher self, okay? And it's very loud in my head, and it says yes or no, and it says that's a good idea, and you know, it comes to mind very quickly. And when that happens for me, it sounds like I'm being bossy and it sounds like I'm being rude and all that kind of stuff. And it's me being efficient, knowing that I can solve this problem faster. I like that schematic a lot.
This is the best I've got so far. It's the modification of the V1 or the V2 models. Basically, it goes back to some old technology, which is on the right-hand side is your antenna, which picks up your ambient plasma currents that are around you. And then it basically goes through an amplifier system. And the drawings are the new style of drawing the plasma capacitors, basically trying to keep the flow going in the one direction. And this drawing is now being disseminated across the groups in the Keshe Foundation, and it's great because it makes it easier to explain flow when you go past the plasma capacitors. And those little arrow boxes are each the C1, C2, C3, C4s are just your plasma capacitors. The right-hand side plasma batteries, I'm in the process do new style battery. It'll be a week or so before the wires are nano-coated enough on the inside of their coatings to make it work. So it's coming along. The only really bad thing about the antenna design on the right-hand side is for terrestrial systems that has to be grounded deeply into the earth in the line of 3 to 6 feet deep or 2 to 3 meters deep with a grounding rod, because you can tap into actually more power than you can utilize. It's also known as a lightning rod. For your mobile units where the ground was installed, you see it on my left-hand side where the plug-in strips are, that one can be very simply a artificial ground, which would be your lead ganses in solution, and that would go off, and that would form a either for your spaceship type of thing or for your traveling vehicles where you cannot physically attach to ground. But that's where I'm at right now, and as far as I've gotten in the designs.
This system right here, I've been told that if you were to figure out how to put in 8 sets of 4 capacitors, okay, like you've got, you would have yourself the Oasis type unit, okay?
Could be.
That's what just popped into my head when I was looking at it. But 8 blocks of 4, you know, you were talking earlier, positive, negative for the 4, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now the 4 becomes 1 whole unit, okay? And then you have the same thing on the next one, but this is still positive, negative, you know, for the connection for the 4. So what you're recreating, it doesn't matter how it is, but you're recreating the 8 chakra systems of the human body, okay? Yep. And then you'll be able to pull all of the elements from oxygen down to hydrogen. And that's everything that we need to live and survive. So it will be absorbed directly into the body. So that's an Oasis unit setup that you've got there. Also, what I've found is if you were to rewire a Tesla circuit backwards in the nano-cut or un-nano-cut, just regular copper, okay, it works the same way as if you were to nano-coat a coil or a regular Tesla coil. If you were to nano-coat it, it does the same thing. So he was doing fractal work, and it was kind of a big finger to everybody in the world. Haha, look at the pretty sparks. If you do it backwards, you know, it does the opposite. It'll draw energy instead of spark energy.
Exactly. This was back in 2000 when I was working with the Tesla coils. I was basically one of the gophers on it. And I said, I think we're running this backwards. And the guy that was funding it says to me, I am not spending $4,000 for a 1.5 battery charger. That was the response. And now we get to this point with what Cash is showing and what you're showing, with what we're showing is we weren't far off in saying Tesla was just basically running his equipment backwards. And what he was trying to show is like, look at what, you can see what it transmits. This is the transmitter side. All you need now is a receiver someplace else. And today, right now, we're learning how to build that receiver.
That's right. And the infinity coils that you make are all receivers. All of the coils that you make and you nano-coat, those are all receivers. Okay? One coil is enough energy to power your entire home in it. We're just learning how to expand that hydrogen or that element and tap into that energy. Okay? The Baghdad battery did that. You know, and it's still working to this day. And once you learn to tap into it, it's emotional, okay? So we've all got to have the same vision and the same thought process and things like that as we're making it. So if you can do some more experiments using resin, okay, remember, you can add neutrinos or GANs to the resin, okay? So now you're creating an energetic field inside of that resin. So, you know, stir it up inside of there and then put your activator on. Okay? The heat's still going to do it. You're going to cause it to expand and contract on those little neutrinos as well. So, you know, with that all being said, guys, I know it's getting late. We've been here for a little bit. You know, tensions are kind of high. I feel a lot of energies today that have been coming in, and the last couple of days have been pretty emotional for me, actually, you know, and it's I don't understand them yet, but I'm still working on them. There will be times for our meetings and things like that. Like I said, I will be online and available more often. I'm still working out the details of my shed, if that's where I'm going to be teaching my classes in there and making sure you guys have the right lighting and stuff like that, because I want everything to be perfect. Are there any last minute questions before we go? You know, I can still leave the meeting on if you guys want to talk. That's fine with me. But I've got to go. I've got to make dinner.
Yeah, I
And
have to go to sleep as well. But I just want to say thank you so much, Mike, for calling this meeting and for having this idea and inviting us to join in this very important event. I just want to say that, well, you know, if things had not started off at the beginning as smooth as you would expect it to be, I guess you would understand that, you know, different people come from different directions and different disciplines. So there need to be a chance and opportunity for everyone to calibrate our energies to get going into a level where we can unite together well and work together in harmony and peace and love. And I can see it coming now. And thank you everyone for holding that energy for the three main players here, the scientists, Mike, Fraz, and Stefan.
I'm curious when Fraz is going to show his device, because Fraz has something in the background that he's growing. He's taking it easy. He's taking the easy route. Right.
Yeah.
Just putting things in clear.
Eating bananas in the background. So, but I love
what people don't realize is the commonality in all your fruit and your vegetables and the different layers between what's GANs, what's storage, what is nanocoat. And when you start analyzing it, you start finding out that you've got these energy supply spots everywhere around you. They're everywhere. It's just not realizing that they're there.
Beautiful, thanks.
I think we still need to have several meetings like this. I don't mind, you know, being around, even though you are going very deep into the science, because we are all learning, I guess. I think most of us here, we mind to be around to hold the energy for you guys until you feel that it is time for you three to get together. Perhaps maybe crowdfunding will be able to help you, assist you to fly to each other's location so you can work together in one, lab to go deeper into the device and come up with something really, truly awesome. And when that is being tested over and over and it works 100%, then we will be very, very confident indeed to organize the event. And Don and I would do the event management beautifully then from that stage on, if that's all right with you.
That's perfect, because that's future ideas. Those are things that we can manifest, right? And that's the sharing of it. You know, just put a picture of grandiose entrance of plasma. You know, say, hey, we're going to take over Central Park for a night. You know, that makes a big statement to people. You know, and that's our goal here, is to make as big a statement as we can. We want to be loud, but we want to do it peacefully. You know.
Sure. Yes. We'd like to thank you, Andra. Andra, thank you so much. Oh gosh, you know, you really add to the value.
Most amazing woman, let me tell you.
She's incredible.
I talked so much to her that she's about ready to strangle me. So she said I need to find some more plasma friends that I can yak at and do something about. So.
Her presence is greatly needed. Yes, please involve her. You work great together.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
You.
We'd like to thank Dawn as well. Dawn, thank you so much for your support.
Hello. Yes, hello
really
from
love
Hawaii.
to be in touch with you and see what we can plan. But first thing first, the scientist has got to do their job. And if they can't come up with a device that works 100%, then we don't exist.
That's right. And we're going to make that 100% exist here. And
I have a question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were fixing a shed so that you could have some classes. When do you expect to have classes?
My expectation is Monday. I'm going to start doing my own collaboration, because I need people to ask them questions. And when you do, I can draw it out and then I see the energy. Okay. I see that I translate it into infinity, what I can incorporate into the truck. It's kind of like my own language translator. But Monday is when I'm expecting to have that done, as long as I can get I may need to get a new internet server, or not server, but Wi-Fi little router thing for my shed, but other than that, it'll be all right. But yeah, Monday, I'm expecting to do it at 10 o'clock is my schedule usually. Okay, this last couple of weeks have just been exhausted and emotional. We've been dealing with our own personal things and dealing with life in general. And you know, we're moving ahead, and we're happy to do so. And you know, we love you guys. We got some Hawaiian.
Mike, can you hear us?
If you have a flying saucer instead of a truck, you could just use the cells plus your device that the one that looks like a Tesla coil. Like I don't remember the name, but I think in conjunction with the cells, you'd have a flying saucer instead of a truck. Like the wheels.
That's kind of the idea here.
That's even better.
Yeah, I'm tired of driving. That's 40 hours in 2 days is a lot.
It's more really the reality that is there with your device and my device.
Yeah. And we need to combine them because I know the energy is there, guys. And if my truck here happens to be glowing red, if as we're driving along, you can call it the red Kachina if you want to. It's just a red Chevy, but it's here to make a difference, And if you believe in my heart and you know that I wouldn't ever do anything to harm humanity, then I would ask for your trust to share your knowledge with me. Because that's really what that boils down to is, we need to make a difference.
Yeah, and we love Stefan and Chris as well. Stefan has a big heart, okay? He told me personally himself, he loves to work with you, Mike. And he wants
we get on each other's nerves.
He doesn't care what he gets.
Once everything's said,
he wants to do this for humanity. Yeah.
I still love him. I still working with him. It's been a long time. I'm not worried about that. We're beyond the school kid games of, if I'm mad at you, I'm not going to talk to you. It's okay. It's not, really anger. It's just, come on. We got to move forward. I'm being fast.
Yeah, we all are. So, yeah, everything's
Greg has a pure heart himself as well. And he's so giving. And thank you so much for choosing to say yes and for choosing to be coming together like this to work for humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I love you all.
Crystal, you're going to put out the next time that we're going to have the meeting, or we're going to do this. We have two options, is what I'm being told. 7:00 a.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesdays.
Okay.
And we're going to stick with the 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Thank you.
Okay, on Thursdays. Okay, we can change this. All right, but right now we're just trying to get a base right now, a time that everybody can come together, and then we will work out the finer details. It is adjustable, okay? We have people from all over the world, okay? So I'm trying to make sure that everybody's happy in this collaboration, and that's where I see that we're trying to go with this, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Very well.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Much love. Thank you.
Yeah, I do better with the Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Central.
Okay, we'll be online. It's the same number. It's just when that time comes, I'll be in my shed, and whatever questions we might have, we can come up and we'll talk about plasma. This is my job. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, the United States government is funding me, is teaching me as my pension, and I'm going to share that knowledge with you guys. So, they love you guys so much. We're going to share that with you.
Oh, much love.
Love you guys.
Good day.
Bye.
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 Bye.